Hello everyone, it's Maria here from pepperlyrose.blogspot.com.au. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cute thank you card using the Sharing Sweet Thoughts stamp set. I really love this stamp set a lot, and I'm also going to be using the You're So Sweet sentiment. And with the Sharing Sweet Thoughts, I forgot to mention just before, this is a very special set. It's found at the back of our catalogue, right at the back, and it is our Ronald McDonald House charity stamp set. So I think it's $3 or is it $9? Anyway, I don't remember, but I'll put up the right amount when I edit this video. It goes to Ronald McDonald House. So as we're aware, Ronald McDonald House do fabulous work helping families with sick children and giving them a home away from home. So that's a very worthwhile charity. But this stamp set helps support that, but it is also a very good all-round stamp set. It is fabulous, so I highly recommend that one. The mixed drinks, that's a cute set. We're using the You're So Sweet, which I mentioned earlier. I'm using the Polka Dot Basics embossing folder. In this, I'm using the Cupcake Cutout Framleit, and I'll be using the word sweet. And bear with me, I forgot to get out my framelits. I'm using the Everyday Jars Framelits, just bear with me, I'll go and grab that quickly. Okay, I'm back, and I've just brought the Everyday Jars Framelits dies, and we'll be using this framelit over here. This is a fabulous framelit set as well. So we'll get started on our project. I've got a piece of real red cardstock, so it's half an A4, cut in half, scored in half again, and I'm just going to burnish that score line. So just make sure that those ends marry up. Then I bring in my bone folder and I just give it a nice burnish. And have a beautiful crisp line. Okay, I've got a layering piece of Whisper White cardstock, and that will go on top. So we'll need that, and we will also need some black cardstock and some scrap white cardstock. Okay, so what we'll do first and foremost is we'll do some stamping, and I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to stamp the jar. Oops, that fell off my block. I'm going to stamp the jar from the Sharing Sweet Thoughts stamp set in Memento ink. So I'll just do that now. Oops, came off again. Not my day. I'm in my kids' room today, not where I usually film. So everything's a little bit all over the place. But that's okay. Alright, now stay. We have a very cold, dry day, so the blocks don't stick very well when that happens. Sorry, the camera's moving. Okay, just give that a good press. I'll do it underneath. I'm not doing very well with this today. Okay, and I'll just stamp. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm going to use the little strawberries from the stamp set. They're beautiful. The reason why I'm doing all the stamping now is I want to let the Memento dry. So I'll just pop this down the bottom. Okay, so stamp that. That turned out beautiful. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment You're So Sweet from the mixed drink stamp set. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut out the sweet afterwards. So I'm just going to stamp that whole image there. I'm just on some scrap Whisper White. Oops, where'd it go? There it is. And we'll just stamp that. Okay, and that turned out beautiful. Okay, so for now that's it with the stamping, and we'll deal with these later. So I'm just going to let the Memento dry, because Memento becomes fade free once it's dried, so that's really good. So we'll grab our panel piece here that we've got for the front of the card, and I'm going to get my Polka Dot Basics embossing folder, and we're just going to pop this through the Big Shot. So I'll just put this on here. I'll grab my Big Shot. Things are a little closer than usual. I'm sorry. As I said, I'm in my children's room today, and I had to set up everything completely different. So that's why it looks a little bit different. But if you haven't noticed the difference, then that's cool. Alright, so I'm going to use our Big Shot platform, a cutting plate, our embossing folder with the cardstock, and a cutting plate on top. And we'll just crank that through the Big Shot. Okay. And we're going to keep our Big Shot out. So I'll show you how that embossed, and it's quite beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Not sure if you can see that. There we go. So I'll put that to one side. And then we'll grab our thin die adapter and put the cutting plate down the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab the word sweet from the Cupcake Cutout Framleit. So I'll just grab that word sweet, and I'll grab my basic black cardstock and pop that through there. And at the same time, I'm going to grab that image that I have there of the jar, and I'm going to get the Everyday Jars Framelits Dies, and I'll just take out that big jar framelit, like this one over here. Pop this on top of the image. Okay, and I'm going to put my cutting plate on top, and we'll crank it through a couple of times. Very carefully. Okay, and I'll crank that through. And I'll go through backwards again. Okay, and that is it with the Big Shot work. Take that away. Down we go. And bring everything out. Okay. Now that is cut out beautifully, and pop this away so I don't lose it. And the sweet, just grab my scissors, and I'm going to use that to poke through. Okay, come out. Okay. Got to be very careful when you pull this out of the die, because it's very, very delicate. And let's see if there's a bit here that didn't punch out. Nope. Okay, so that turned out beautiful, didn't it? The word sweet. Okay. What we're going to do now is we're just going to bring, we're going to bring our image over here, and we're going to do some colouring with an aqua painter. So I always have a tissue with my aqua painter, and I just squirt water to the nib and let it wet, but I try not to squeeze it much more afterwards. Okay, what I'm going to grab is some garden green. So I use my ink pad, I squeeze the top of it, and I just grab a little bit of Garden Green, and I'll just start colouring the stems and the leaves. That's a little too much water. I'm using Whisper White cardstock, so the secret is not to put a lot of water. Okay, just a little bit here. Okay, I'll keep colouring in those stems. Feel free to fast forward through all of this if you wish. I'm just going to show those who want to watch it in real time can, and those that don't, feel free to fast forward. No hard or fast rules, just too much water. Just go for it. And it's there. Sorry for the noise, everyone. Okay. I'll just keep colouring that in. It doesn't take long. The secret is not to have this soaking wet, and you can use Memento for watercolouring as long as you don't oversaturate your brush and that you've also given it time to dry. Like a good 5 minutes or so is perfect. And I'll show you, and I love Memento because it doesn't stain my photopolymers. So that's it with that colouring. I'll show you close up. It didn't even run. So that's it close up. That didn't run. That is a little bit blurry because I'd stamped it a little bit heavy-handed on one side, but generally speaking that's stamped very, very well. Okay, the next colour I'm going to use is the Real Red. So I'm just going to squeeze the lid, open it up, and I've got a little pool of Real Red ink there. So just grab my brush again and I give it a good wash. No hard or fast rules, again, with watercolouring, whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm not great with shading, so just letting you know, as my aim is just to keep within the lines. And that's all I do. Really, really simple. And I just keep colouring that all in. Okay, and I'll just keep colouring in. And really the Whisper White, as long as you don't oversaturate, you can take a little bit of water, just not a lot. It will buckle. It's not the best for watercolouring, but I like using it because I'm lazy. Sorry, I've got to admit that. Okay, I'll just give this another squeeze because there's not enough ink. Okay, now that's a better pool of Real Red. And just keep colouring. And just keep going till it's done. So we're not too far off. The card after this will come together very, very quickly. The most labour intensive, if you can call it labour intensive, is your colouring. That takes the longest, and the big shot only took 5 minutes or less. So, okay. So I might go back and just give it a little bit more colour. I want the strawberries to be a little bit more intense in their colour. So I'm just going to go back just very lightly over the top and just give it a little bit more colour. So it's up to you. You can use your watercolour paper if you wish. But yeah, I was quite happy to use the Whisper White. And this is Memento, so it has not really run. And it's a beautiful clear image. I love it. I love Memento ink. It's my favourite black ink of all time. Okay. Okay, so that's now the strawberries and are finished. I'll just give you a close-up. Okay. Now I'm going to grab some Tempting Turquoise. I'm going to give that a bit of a squeeze. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to colour the jar with a light splash of Tempting Turquoise on the sides, just to give it a little bit of definition. Oops, that's a little too much. Anyway, that's all cool though. Okay, give that a little wash. I'm not fantastic at colouring, as you're aware, but you know, it's good to give it a go and experiment, you know, it doesn't take much. Have a little fun with it. It's starting to peel now because I've put a bit too much water, but I'm going around the strawberries to kind of give them a little bit of more definition. And down the bottom. So give them like a shadow effect of the Tempting Turquoise, just to make them stand out a little more. Just a little bit more there. Okay, and I think I'm done with the colouring. It's always good to start off light and then you work your way up. So I'll just give my aqua painter a wipe with a tissue and we're done. Okay, so that is now my jar watercoloured. Isn't it cute? I love it. Alright, now I'm going to bring my card base. I've got my embossed panel here, so I'm going to put some fast fuse. So with fast fuse, a very light hand, hold it like this. You can use this just to direct it, but not to push down. Very light, and just flick. So go down and flick, and flick. And turned out beautiful. So we now just, I'll go this way. Now we just even it up on all sides. Make sure there's a nice even border. And put down. Super easy. We're going to grab the You're So Sweet sentiment that we stamped earlier. Just bring that out here. And what we're going to do is we're going to give it a trim next to the sweet. Okay, give it another trim, because you can still see a bit of the letters. And I'm just going to do a cut straight across. And there we have that one there. We're going to lay the sweet there and the jar here. Super cute. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now is going to get some dimensionals, and we're going to pop that image up on that. Just grab my dimensionals. Okay, just about. Okay. Take the backings off. Okay, and we'll just pop this up here. I'm going to grab my tweezers because I just find it easier to glue things down with my tweezers. I'm going to give that an extra little trim because it's not even with my paper snips. Okay, that's a lot better. So with that, I'm going to just glue that down with some liquid glue. We can also use fast fuse, so I might as well just use a little bit of fast fuse. Okay, just pop that up here. And we'll put the word sweet at a slight angle. Now this is where the tweezers come in really handy. So I'm just going to get my liquid glue. Okay, and I'm just going to give a little blobs of glue. Nothing, just in strategic places, just so it stays down. And here. Okay, cool. Okay, and there we have it. Stick that right down. Okay, so there's the card. Isn't it beautiful? Look at that. Highly recommend the Sharing Sweet Thoughts stamp set. It is a fabulous set. You can use this. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I wanted to stamp that lid because this is like jam. So bear with me. I'm going to stamp that and cut that out very quickly. So I'll just get my a piece of cardstock. I forgot the most important thing. I can't believe it. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'll grab the stamp. That's this one over here. I'll grab a block and I'll put that on. The most important thing of all, I can't believe I forgot it, the lid. The lid makes it nice. All right. Give that a good ink with real red. Okay, and I'll just give it a good stamp. Okay, that turned out great. Grab my big shot. Can't believe I forgot that. I'm so sorry, guys. But that was important. Just grab my platform with a thin die adapter, cutting plate, piece of cardstock, and I've got the lid, framelit. Pop that down here. Make sure it's even all around. Okay. Actually, I don't like the way that's stamped. I'm going to do it again on the other side. I'll just do that off camera there just for a second. I've got an older style ink pad for this one. Okay, and I'll just give it a quick stamp. Much better. Now I'll crank that through the big shot. As I was saying before, I do recommend that stamp set. It is fabulous and it is cute and multi-purpose. You can use it for any occasions, and as you could see, I mixed and matched a stamp set and framelits, and you know, if you have all of these in your collection, you can easily, you know, use them for different things. So don't limit yourself to just what you see in the catalogue. Always mix it up. It makes it more fun. Okay, and that cut out really nicely. So pleased with how that cut out. Now I'm going to bring back my card and put some glue on that lid. So I didn't like it because it was a bit heavy here. The other side it's a lot more even. Okay, and now it'll be fine. It'll look a lot better with the lid, trust me. Yeah. There we go. Just let that sit on top there for a second. Okay, that's much better now. That's exactly what I wanted, but I can't believe I forgot it before. So as I was saying, fantastic set. You can mix and match it with anything you wish. Beauty of this is also supports a charity, which is a fabulous thing to do, especially with such a worthy cause. Cupcake Cutout Framlets are fabulous, not just for birthdays, as you can see. You can use it even as a thank you. And the mixed drink stamp set is fantastic. Again, mix and match the sayings. You can the sentiments. You can even cut, you know, mask off words and use it for different things. Embossing folder, hey, you can use that on absolutely anything. And the Everyday Jars Framelits are fabulous. They coordinate with 2 sets. So it's this one here and the I forgot what it was called, Jar of Love stamp set. Fabulous. I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment in the video below. Thank you so much and have a lovely day. Bye.